People have asked me if I regret waiting until I was almost 40 to get married. My answer? Absolutely not. In fact, looking back now after 14 years of marriage and 16 years together, I truly believe marrying later was one of the greatest blessings of my life. Now, that doesn't mean marrying young is wrong. Everybody's journey is different. This is simply my story and why waiting ended up being exactly what I needed. And today I want to talk about something that I don't hear discussed nearly enough, and that's the advantages of marrying later in life. I met my husband when I was 37 years old, and we married when I was 39. And by that point, I had already built a life that I was proud of. I'd earned my doctorate, I'd received tenure at my college, I'd established my career, I had traveled extensively throughout the United States and internationally, often by myself. I had my own investments. Most importantly, I knew exactly who I was. So we met at work. I had just been elected department chair and he had been hired into a full-time faculty position, and I was moving into the chair office and he had been assigned to my previous office. So our paths started crossing while we were moving offices. I thought he was absolutely adorable, and apparently there was something about me that he liked. And our initial short conversations started getting deeper, and it didn't take long before I was completely smitten. And one day he invited me to go to the Wisconsin-Michigan football game with him in Ann Arbor, and we have been together ever since. So, one of the greatest gifts of marrying later in life is self-awareness. In your 20s, you're still becoming the person you're meant to be. Your goals change, your values evolve, and your priorities shift. By the time I met my husband, I wasn't trying to figure out who I was anymore. I already knew. I knew what I valued. I knew what kind of life I wanted. And I knew what I would and would not accept in a relationship. And that made choosing a partner much clearer. And the beautiful thing is, my husband knew who he was too. He's 10 years older than I am and had also never been married or had children. And when we met, he had devoted many years to teaching while also caring for his elderly father. And that responsibility shaped him into an incredibly compassionate and patient man. And one of the unexpected blessings that came was that I developed a wonderful relationship with his father as well. Because my husband shared a home with his dad, I knew that caring for that feisty 90-year-old was going to become a major part of my life if I chose to enter into that family. And elder care has always been a part of my lived reality, so it comes very naturally to me. And I was at a point in my life where I could embrace that responsibility while not losing my own identity. Neither of us came into this relationship expecting the other person to complete us. We were already complete individuals. We'd both experienced previous relationships. We weren't looking for someone to rescue us. We were looking for someone to share life with, and that is very important. Another advantage of marrying later was financial stability. By then, I had established my career. I had my own resources. I wasn't depending on someone else for financial security, and neither was he. That allowed our relationship to be built on mutual respect and compatibility instead of necessity. We were true partners from the beginning. Now, do not misunderstand me. Marrying later doesn't mean marriage is automatically easy. We still had to learn how to live together. And I had lived alone from the ages of 22 until 38. So I was used to having my own space and doing things my way. Every couple has to learn how to navigate shared living space. You have different habits, different routines, different expectations, and marriage requires communication, patience, and compromise no matter what age you are. But because we were both emotionally mature, I think we handled those growing pains differently than we might have years earlier. Life has also brought us challenges. We've both experienced health issues over the years. His cancer and my long recovery from sepsis. We've taken care of hospice patients in our home, both my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. During those difficult seasons, we've taken care of each other. That's what marriage is. Sometimes you're the caregiver and sometimes you're the one being cared for. When he had his bone marrow transplant, I had to step up and manage everything at home while still working full time. When I had sepsis and ended up having a major unplanned surgery, followed by 3 months of being connected to a wound vac, he took care of everything so I could recover. I remember during those first couple of months post-op, I was exhausted just walking from the bedroom to the kitchen to refill my water bottle. That alone was draining. There was no way I could have done the shopping or swept the floors or done laundry. We've learned also that each of us has different strengths. He carries things that I am not naturally good at, and I bring strengths that he doesn't have. And instead of competing, we complement each other. Today, we've been together for 16 years and married for 14. It's our anniversary today. And honestly, our relationship feels peaceful. There's a solid friendship and mutual respect. We make each other laugh. We bicker, yes. He does the chores that I hate, like unloading the dishwasher, and I coordinate our very complicated, busy schedules, which is something he hates. And we figured things out. And if you're watching this and you're still single in your 30s or 40s or beyond, and you don't want to be, I want to encourage you. Life doesn't run on one timeline. You haven't missed your opportunity. Your story doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Sometimes waiting allows you to become the person you're meant to be before inviting someone else into your life. And for me, marrying later wasn't settling. It was arriving at the right relationship at the right time. And after all these years, I can honestly say it was worth the wait. I would love to hear your story in the comments. Please like this video, share with anyone you believe would be interested, and please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time. All right, have a great day.